Hey, I'm Greg from Zoho Expert, and today I'm going to do a quick video on automations. Before I get started, this is our YouTube channel. Please subscribe, like our videos, comment on our videos. We really appreciate all the support we've been getting recently, people commenting on our videos, liking our videos, and to all our new subscribers. I think we've doubled our subscriber count in the last few days, which is awesome. So thank you so much, everyone. Please keep subscribing. Please keep engaging with our videos. Every time you do that, it helps share our videos with extra people on YouTube and helps us grow, which is just absolutely fantastic. So today's video is going to be on small automations that I've set up for my business. But you know, this is an early stage business. I only set this up a couple of months ago, and I haven't spent a lot of time on my own system because I've been lucky enough to get clients almost immediately. People have been reaching out to me like almost every day. It's incredible, and I'm so thankful for everyone, contacting us and wanting to hire us, to the point now where we were so booked up that I'm having to ask people to wait for me to contact them back in October because I have a few big projects on at the moment, and I want to be able to give my full attention to those clients until they no longer need so much from me. And then at that point, I'm going to reach back out to the people who do want my help. But if you're one of those people that wants my help, please do reach out to me now. I'll book you in for a meeting, in October, or I'll put you into my sort of, to-do list of to contact you back in October to book in a meeting so that we can discuss things. And I'm going to add people in, date order that I received their inquiry. So if you reach out to me today, then, you'll be shorter in the queue or closer to the top of the queue than if you reach out to me in October, because by then I'll have everybody else ahead of you. But that's only if you want to reach out to us and if you need our help. But it's been absolutely fantastic, and we love helping people, so just keep doing it. Okay, so a few automations. This is my lead. I've got a basic blueprint set up on my lead. This is a slightly adapted version of the base Zoho blueprint that comes with leads, where you get their details and then you contact them and then you decide they're not interested. And then you decide, okay, well, let's follow them up in a few months, or start engagement. So convert them to a customer or contact, an account, and a deal. Or bad lead, like, oh, this person doesn't even use Zoho. I don't know why they contacted us. They got nothing to do with our business. We don't ever need to speak to them again. So those are the three options here. So once we turn them into an engagement and create the contact, an account, and a deal for them, then the deal starts in this qualification stage. Now, when we come in here, this is still quite manual, but later on there's quite a bit of automation built in. So I'm going to just explain the manual bit to you guys, and then we'll get to the automation bit. So the manual bit right now is me looking at the description here to see what they asked for when they contacted me on my website. And I can see like, oh, okay, they want some help with Deluge scripting, or oh, okay, they want some help with Zoho CRM. Or Zoho One, to connect all the apps together, whatever that might be. So I will then select a project type, which is a drop-down menu, and I'll select one of these things that they're looking for, okay? And then once I've done that, it'll automatically create the project name and will update the deal name to match. Okay, then my hourly rate is automatically set, and my billing method is automatically set. It will create it actually doesn't create the project yet, so that you can ignore those fields. And then I'll set a retainer invoice amount. So that I will just guesstimate in the beginning. So if somebody needs just a little bit of work from me, then I'll put it down as 500. If they've got a slightly bigger project, then we'll put it down as 1,000. If they've got a massive project, then we'll still put it down at 1,000, and we'll sort of do it in 10-hour increments, so that the client is always happy that they're not committing to a huge spend, until they can actually see what we're delivering for them. And that's what I'm most comfortable with, and that's what I've found my customers are most comfortable with. So based on these figures, the retainer amount, the hourly rate, and the project name, these will come into effect later when we're dealing with the automations. Now, technically, I can just set up a blueprint on here where I click the blueprint button and for qualification or qualified deal, and then those three fields pop up and I select the project type and the amount the retainer amount and the what was the other thing? Oh, I think that was it. Yeah, because the hourly rate stays the same. So it would just be the retainer amount and the project type. And then I would click save and everything else would automatically update. Then outside of Zoho CRM, I would discuss an initial meeting with them. So I would reach out and say, thank you so much for contacting me. And I usually do this via a ticket. And so I'll just go on here and click plus. And I'll say, thank you so much for reaching out to me. I can meet with you tomorrow at 2 p.m. UK time, 4 a.m. or 9 a.m. your time, because I'll try and ascertain the customer's time zone. And then they'll hopefully come back to me and say, yeah, perfect, let's meet then. I'll send them a meeting invite and I'll move this over to awaiting initial meeting. Now, again, I could automate this by having a button that says book meeting, and I could really go far with the automation and actually have it send a template email out to them that says, thanks for contacting me. Please click this link to book a meeting with me. And then using a Zoho bookings link, they could actually book themselves in with me. Using some of the sort of automation available on that side, I could then have this update me and update the deal to say, oh, great, the customer's booked a meeting with me. So move it from qualification to awaiting initial meeting. And then we'll sit there, and then there'll be a button here that says, meeting outcome or something like that. And then I click that, and there would be a few boxes for me to fill in, like potentially the retainer amount again, and potentially the description of the deal, because we've got this deal description here. And I'll just jot down, client wants us to help them, customize their CRM for their, software business or whatever they might be doing. We estimate this is going to take 10 to 20 hours. And then we'll, click save, and it'll go to proposal sent, and it'll send the client a template email that says, thanks for meeting with us. And then it'll say, as discussed, and then it'll pop in the project description. As discussed, you're looking for the following. It'll pop in the project description, and then it'll say, to continue, please confirm if you'd like to continue, and we'll send you our consulting agreement and retainer invoice. And then they would come back and say, yes, I'd like to go ahead, or we could even put a button in there that they click to say, yeah, let's go ahead, or no, thanks, not at this time, or no, never, or something like that. But either way, if we wanted to really automate that, we could do that. Then once we've received the response from the client that says, yeah, let's go ahead, then we'd have a button here that says send contract. Now, right now, I've got this button here, and it does what the blueprint button would do, where it would automatically create and send the customer the consultant agreement. But right now, I just do this manually, click there. Now, and then it would move to the stage awaiting signature and payment. And it's both of those things, because once we've sent them the contract, once they sign the contract, they are then automatically sent our retainer invoice. Once they pay our retainer invoice, they're automatically sent the starter pack, where they need to give us their time zone and, their login details and confirm that they've backed everything up, just the compliance things and the things we need to deliver on the business for the client. And once they've provided the payment and the sign up form, the starter pack, then it'll automatically move to closed one. It'll create a project in Zoho Books where I can record my time that I've spent on the customer's job, and it'll also create a task for me saying reach out to customer and book a kickoff appointment. Now, a later automation might be that this automatically sends the client an email template that says, thanks so much, please click here to book your kickoff meeting, and then it'll allow the customer to book their own meeting directly into my calendar. But this is just an example of how much this whole process can be automated. Right now, I've only got this stage automated, so sending the contract, client signs, we create the retainer invoice, send it to them, client pays, we automatically send the client the starter pack, the client then fills in the starter pack, and then it moves to closed one. and creates the task for me to manually reach out to them and book the kickoff appointment. Now, in this stage, once we've sent them the invoice, if we haven't received payment after X amount of days, I think it's 3 days, then we'll automatically chase them again and say, hey, thanks, we're still waiting for your payment. And it'll do that a few times until maybe 10 days. And then at that point, it'll mark up a task for me saying, hey, call this client. It's been 10 days and they still haven't paid. And the same goes for the starter pack. So once the payment's received, then we're just chasing the starter pack. If the client hasn't responded to the starter pack in 10 days, it'll be like, hey, this client's paid you, but they haven't filled in your starter pack. You better reach out to them and find out what's going on. So, I don't have to think about this until one of those events happens. So until either the client does everything required and I can get started on their job, or until they've ignored us for X amount of days. And I can set all those, parameters myself. Now, when the client has done everything that they need to do, it'll create the deal project, it'll create the work drive folder, and I can click here to open up my consultant agreement with them at any time if I need to check something. Now, just to explain how those automations work, they're all based on these fields here. So you see these. So we've got the retainer invoice sent at. So if there's a date in this field, the system knows that we've sent the client an invoice. The same goes for this field. If the URL has a link to the invoice, then we know that the client has been sent an invoice. Now, if it's been sent to the client, now this is just the so you see, I've got two here because I used to send the retainer invoice through Zoho Books, but that's super ugly. So now I send it to the customer through Zoho CRM template, which is so much better. It's got my logo on it. It looks so much better. And then I can just click on emails to see a copy of what's been sent to them. So it's much more flexible. So now I do it through here. So when this shows as a date, and then I know, okay, great, I've sent the client an invoice, but if this is empty and this is not, then I know the client hasn't paid the invoice. So I've got workflows running in the background checking these things, and they check it based on this next chase date here. And so every time the next chase date comes up, it says, okay, well, have we sent the client the invoice? Yes. Okay, well, in that case, has the client paid the invoice? No. Okay, then we need to send them the email that says, please pay our invoice with a link to the invoice. If the client has paid, then it'll say, okay, well, has the starter pack been sent? Yes. Okay, if not, then send the first starter pack email. If yes, then send the starter pack chase email, and just keep doing that until the client has paid, and has filled in the starter pack. And just so you know, this is not my password. This is just random data that I've put in here when I filled in the test form. But good luck trying. Okay, so, and that's not even the login email, actually. So, where are we? So that's the automations that I've got set up on my Zoho Expert business. But honestly, it is super basic right now. I'm working with one client where we've been working for a few weeks now, probably 10 hours a week, to build out a very complex stage of his business that is currently taking up tons and tons and tons of his time, where he's having to do a lot of manual work, and he's got a team of four people, I believe, and they're all having to work manic hours to try and keep up with all this work that's coming their way. And the work we've been doing is going to help automate so much of that it's going to save them tons of time. So although they're making an investment in hiring us, the amount of time it's going to save them, and e.g. the amount of more money they can make by doing more business, is going to easily repay the investment. And over time, obviously, it's going to be a major saving, because you might spend a month's worth of staff wages on having us come in and automate your system, but you only have to pay that once. And then it helps you 10x your business and make tons more money, or it helps you not need to hire extra staff, which cost a lot of money. So you're saving tons of money in the future. Now, just a quick update about us. We're super busy at the moment. We're having to ask new customers to wait until October before we can start working on their cases, but please still get in touch. I'm overwhelmed at the support that I've been getting with this business. people have been contacting me almost every day asking me to help them with their systems, and I'm having to turn people down at the moment and say, just, I'm putting you in a queue, I'll contact you in October when I've got more time. Reason for this is I'm going on holiday this month. It's September. It's UK holidays here. So that's when I'm going overseas. So I'll be away for a good chunk of this month, and my property business needs a lot more attention this month from me because one of my senior staff members is leaving, and I've got a new joiner coming in, and I have to train them up this next few weeks between my holiday, before and after. So by October, then I've got more time to focus again on Zoho Expert and do more for my new clients. But in the meantime, because I know my time's going to be limited, I'm focusing just on the clients who have already engaged with me, already paid me, and already have me working on their projects. So I hope you can respect that I'm putting my customers first, and that I'm not overextending myself and taking on business that I won't be able to deliver on. Do get in touch. At least you can be in the queue and I can contact you back. And if there's really small bits that you need help with in the meantime, I might be able to help you on, an ad hoc basis, an hour here or an hour there. But if you're looking at doing a large project, 10, 20, 30 hours, then that's definitely going to have to wait until October, and then wait your turn in October, because I'm going to have quite a few people waiting by that point. But please do still get in touch, because it's really overwhelming the amount of support I'm getting. And if you've got any questions in the meantime, I'm still going to try and create some YouTube videos. YouTube likes it when you upload at least one a week, so I'm going to keep trying to do that. And so, if you need anything in particular, then, suggest it to me as a video topic. I'm always looking for good video topics. I want to create videos that people need and actually help people, because that makes me feel good about the video I'm making. And yeah, so today's video is all about these automation steps and, the basics of how you can implement them in your business. I've shown you all these things. I'm also going to show you the workflows, but my screen recording software is in the way again. There we go. Sorry, there we go. So let's open my settings. Okay. So just a couple of workflows here. Okay, so where are we? Here we go. Okay, so we want on chase invoice and starter pack time, and that is the next chase starter pack date. So this date here that I showed you. Let me zoom back out again. So this date here that I showed you. Now, what the system's doing is it's saying, well, when we get to that date, do this. Okay, that's how the workflow works. And it's going to do it once every time we hit that date. Okay, and we're checking for a few different things. So we're saying, well, has the starter pack received? Is it empty? Okay, so if it's empty and the invoice paid is empty, well, then in that case, we need to send the template that says, chase the retainer invoice and the starter pack, and also update the next chase date. So we might move that to 7 days ahead, or 3 days ahead, or 1 day ahead, whatever the case may be, so that this same script runs again in a day or in 7 days. And you can set that for however many days you need for your business. Now, if the retainer invoice paid at isn't empty, it means the client's paid my retainer invoice. But if the starter pack is still empty, then it means they've paid, but they haven't filled the starter pack in. So send them this different template and change the date for the next chase again. If the retainer invoice paid is empty, but the starter pack received isn't empty, it means the client's filled in the starter pack but hasn't paid the invoice. So send them this one and then move the next chase date up. If both aren't empty, then it means the client's paid and has filled in the starter pack. And then in that case, we want to clear the next chase date, and we want to add a pack received and paid tag. Now, I've got a task set up in a different workflow that runs in the background, or I think it's a Zoho Flow automation, but I'm going to add it here just so it's nice and clear for you guys. So client has paid and completed starter pack, start work on, and then deal name. Okay, and then we want to assign this to the deal. So we say on the trigger date, the status is going to be probably not started actually. And we're going to assign it to me, and we're going to, I'm sure there's a way to assign this to the actual, oh, it's automatic because we're in the workflow. So it's automatically going to assign it to the deal and link it to the deal. And then for the description, we might as well just paste in the same thing, save and associate. So when the client has paid and filled in the starter pack, it's also going to now create this task for me. And it does that already, but this is just to show you in this video how that works. So when I come in the morning, I can be like, oh great, overnight, this client's now paid, this client's now signed. So until that happens, I don't need to think about that client again. So I'm waiting for them to contact me or to do one of those things. And that's how simple that is, that whole automation process. So I don't think I've done any emails for this one. Oh yeah, I have, there we go. So, you know, this is an example of the email that goes out to them. So it says, you know, thank you for instructing Zoho Expert for, and then the project name. It says, we look forward to working with you. Before we can start, we need you to please complete our client onboarding form and pay our retainer invoice. So then there's the button to complete the onboarding form. And then it says, please pay our retainer invoice so that we can get started working on your account, and click here to view the invoice. And when they click there, it gives them the option to pay online. So, you know, this will go out to the client as the first port of call, and then we'll kind of build on that. So if they pay but don't sign, they get a different one. And if they, pay but don't fill in the form, they get a different one. And if they fill in the form but don't pay, they get another one. And it will just keep chasing them. And then we can have a separate workflow built for if it's 10 days or 12 days from when the retainer invoice email first sent at date, because this would have been filled in when that email got sent. This is my test record, so I clear that out to do more testing. But we can say if we're 10 days from there, then create a task saying call this client and find out what's wrong. But anyway, I won't go further into that. Comment, like, subscribe, and please let us know what videos you'd like us to make, because we love to help people do what they need to do on Zoho, help them automate their businesses, save their own time, and just run their businesses more efficiently so they can make more money and work less. Thanks for watching.